Do you remember those nights you couldn't sleep? Those nights where you just stayed up and you kept thinking back to what if? What if they came back? What if they never left? And I think the most important question that I think we all ask, did they ever regret it? Did they ever look back on it and think to themselves that they hurt that person that they really loved at one point? Do they ever regret it? Do they ever think about me late at night? Are they thinking about me at this point? Are they thinking about me right now as they're laying down? Do they think about me when they wake up? Do I ever cross their mind? Or am I just nothing? Am I just fading in their memory? I think late at night we always ask that question of what if, and did they ever regret it? We ask ourselves, why did they do it? And I think that question kind of fades throughout the time that you get broken up with or the time that you are healing. And eventually it just turns into, did they ever regret it? Did they ever feel remorse? And the question that always pops and stays in our head throughout this healing process that you kind of go through is, what if they came back? How would we approach it? How would you approach it? Would you answer? Would you not answer? What would you say? And if that time ever does come, I think we all can agree it would feel like our hearts, it would feel like our hearts would just sink to the bottom and adrenaline would be pumping. We'd be panicking, asking ourselves, what do we need a text? We need a text, but not sending anything. Or you do send a message. But it's always these questions that happen of what if it changed? What if things were different? What if I did this? What if I did that? What if they texted me right now? Do they think about me? Do they not think about me? What are they doing? It's those questions that I think hurt a lot after the breakup. It's not the hurt itself. It's not them hurting us. It's not them leaving us or discarding us for someone else or cheating on us or just being degrading towards us. Sometimes in the end, we just kind of get into our own delusions and we kind of get into our own self sabotage and we just start asking these questions that we know we shouldn't ask because we don't know what they are thinking. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know if they're thinking about us. But 9 times out of 10, I like to think that they are. Because here's the thing, you can't just erase 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or however long you were with that person and think that it's all gone and think that it's all over, that both parties will just forget about each other in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. It doesn't work like that. Because you have to realize they are a chapter of your life and you are a chapter of theirs. There are memories that you two share. There are jokes that you two share. There are good times and bad times. And heck, there might be one traumatic memory that you guys both share. I am certainly positive that they might think of you just like you think of them every now and then. It just happens. We're human. We have to. There's always a certain smell, a certain fragrance, a certain show, a certain movie. There's something that'll bring us back to that moment where we were with that person or something that they said. There's always certain words or a certain sentence that brings you back to when they said it to you. One of them that I can vividly and always remember is a line that one of my past partners told me was, you always have a plan. You always somehow manage to work it all out just like that. It's never like you don't know what you're doing. You always have a plan. Another line that I remember is one where they told me, you always manage to look out for people even though you don't have to. You always manage to help those that don't even need it. You always just go out there and help as many as you can, even animals. You don't really forget the person. And that version of them is long gone. We have to accept that. But the what ifs and those thoughts that keep us up late at night, those are one of the hardest things to ever defeat or to ever overcome because it happens so often. You might not think about them the entire day. And then late at night it happens. That thought just creeps up. You ask yourself how, you ask yourself why now, but it just happens. I remember there to be certain points where it would happen to me and I would just kind of sit I wouldn't really be able to lay down. And somehow these thoughts would just kind of make me spiral. They'd make me lose myself in a way because it would be something I don't even want to think about, but yet I'm now thinking about it. And sometimes it is just sit with it. Sometimes it is just to sit with these questions of what if, or if they regret it, or if they would ever come back, how would you react? You have to just kind of sit with it. You have to kind of go through it little by little and kind of just answer that question for yourself. And even though it hurts, because you don't want to answer it, you don't know. You eventually give yourself the answer. Do they think about me? I think so, just like I do. It's not as often, and it's not like I'm upset about it if I think about them. Nowadays, if it happens, I'm just like, oh, that's a good memory. It's always just a certain good memory that I think about nowadays, and I honor it. Or what if they text me? I just answer that to myself. I say, well, we'll cross that bridge if it ever needs to happen. Yeah, but what if? We'll cross that bridge when it needs to happen. Yeah, but what if? If it happens, we'll read it. But I think we'd take a couple days or a month even to just respond to it or just think it through. And if I do need to say something, I will. I'm not going to. Or do they ever regret it? Do they ever feel bad about it? That's the one question that gets tricked up in my mind a lot, gets tossed a lot because I always am managing to like fight myself with that question. I always somehow manage to fight myself with that question because I'm just like, maybe they do, maybe they don't, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I like to think that because I've been on the receiving end of now being hurt and being discarded, but I've done that as well. I have been the one to discard someone. And I've known from both now, from both parties, from both sides, you'll feel it eventually later on. You'll feel that regret. You'll feel that remorse. It'll eat you up at night because you can't live with the fact that you hurt that person, that you made someone hurt, made someone feel this. And I remember that time that I did do that. I would stay up, and I just think to myself, I need to fix things. I need to I need to apologize, but truthfully apologize. And sometimes that meant face to face, and that was even hard to do. I don't think a text would ever work for me. The only time I did it, I remember when I discarded someone. This was like years ago. I went up to this person and I truthfully like gave them an apology that they needed. And luckily I wasn't too late on that, but we eventually settled things and everything went well after that. But I remember before I even was able to do that, it would eat me up at night. It would eat me up because I would ask myself over and over again, I want to apologize. I feel bad. I miss them. I I I don't feel good about what I did. It's hard when you try to go to sleep and those thoughts and those questions creep up on your mind. Usually I would just try music, but sometimes, well, most times, I'd sit with it. And little by little, I'd ask and answer those questions. And sometimes it was hard, but I overcame that. I know for a lot of us, or most of us, we won't ever get those answers to those questions that creep up at night. Those questions of what if, or do they regret it, or are they thinking about me? And maybe when you do get the answer, it might be too late. But maybe when those questions creep up at night, when those thoughts creep up at night, maybe you just sit with them. And maybe now, even though you won't get the answer from them, maybe now you can answer those questions yourself.